My name is Kwaku Achini, and I'll be speaking with head librarian at Haslett Libraries, Tom Moore, to discuss March's Reading Month. So my first question for you is, if you could just go ahead and just introduce yourself, kind of what you do for the Capital Area District Libraries in Haslett as a librarian.
Yeah, so my name's Tom Moore. I'm the head librarian at the Haslett branch of the Capital Area District Libraries. So my role really there is kind of as a branch manager. We just make sure that everything's running smoothly, and that my staff have what they need to, get their job done. Whether it's checking the books in and out, to get those out the door to our community members, or if it's planning programs and some of our like story time to go kits and virtual story times and book clubs and different things, making sure that they have the resources that they need, and then working with community partners on different projects.
All right, so obviously with this month being March's Reading Month, like what does Hazlitt plan to do for that in your library?
Yeah, it's funny because I was thinking about this, right? And really at the library, like every month is reading month, because we are all about books. But March is a good time to just remind people that, it's good to take a minute, read a book, sit down with your child and read to them, or let them read to you. And so we have this month special, we have a kind of a March's Reading Month reading challenge calendar, and that's for ages 3 through 8. And it just has a different activity each day to encourage kids to read or tell stories or engage with, those different things, like the 5 early literacy practices, which are read, write, talk, sing, and play. And those are things that really help you engage with stories and words in different ways to reinforce some of those literacy skills. So today, for example, March 9th is to create a story by drawing a picture and then tell someone out loud about it. So sometimes building your reading skills is not all about just reading. It's about using words and in different ways and putting your thoughts into action, so you can see how stories come together.
Yeah, so in terms of like for younger readers, like what would you say to like want to encourage them to read for this month?
I would say, find a topic that you're interested in and, pick books that have that topic. So if you, for instance, my son really likes Minecraft and video games. And so we try and find books that have those aspects in it. Or we love Wildcrats on PBS. That's a show where they talk about animals and go around the world and whatnot. And so we found a series called Race the Wild, which is a group of small, I say small kids, but it's a group of kids competing in a wildlife competition, and they travel around the world, and we get to learn about animals and read an exciting story at the same time. And those are two things that he loves. So it's a good way to get into the books. But there's so many great stories out there. You just have to find kind of what speaks to you. So if there's something you like, then there's probably a book to match that.
Yeah, I know when I was a kid, like it was tough for my mom to get me to want to read, but for you as a parent, like what would you say for other parents to get their kids to get
Yeah,
at?
it's funny because my kids are reluctant readers, themselves. And you work at a library, and so everyone thinks that, oh, your kids must love to read, but really they don't. And I think I was probably the same way that you were. It wasn't really until high school that I really started to, fall in love with books and reading. But I think, you just have to find something that works. And it doesn't have to be, the best book ever. It can be graphic novels, which are really great, have pictures and words to just introduce people into reading them. We love these narwhal books. and they have, you know, not very many words on the page, but the stories are really funny. And so if they can start out reading something, you know, that just makes them laugh and gets them reading a little bit, turning the pages and getting that sense of accomplishment, it goes a long way to, you know, eventually introducing them into the bigger books and more challenging texts. But you have to start with, you know, the path of least resistance, topics that they're interested in. And if it includes pictures, that's okay, because some of that is, they're still engaging with the text and the stories.
So March's reading month, you probably know this. It's very heavily like influenced by Dr. Seuss and kind of like a lot of his work. So as like a librarian, when you were that age, what was kind of like your favorite Dr. Seuss books? I know mine, I loved like Cat in the Hat, especially obviously The Grinch and the Green Eggs and Ham too. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, we love green eggs and ham. One of my favorites, though, actually is the Lorax. And they turned it into a really cool movie that was sort of like a musical too. And it's funny because, you know, we hadn't read the book until we'd seen the movie, which is, you know, the way things go sometimes. But now my kids love that book. And it's all about, you know, the environment, and the Lorax is trying to protect the trees from this, you know, company that's, you know, trying to chop them all down and make the needs. But yes, he has so many great books.
Yeah, so like as far as I know, like with COVID and stuff, it's obviously like harder to have like everyone come out in full force to the library and stuff to pick up the calendars and all that. So will you guys be having any virtual events?
Yep. So we have lots of virtual events going on. We have our Cattle Tales Live, which is our virtual story time, and that's been happening ever since March. You know, last March, Monday and Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. and 7 p.m., and then Fridays at 10:30 a.m. And so you can tune in live on Facebook Live with us to catch those story times, or you can watch the recording that are usually up for about a week or so. And those are just, you know, we have excellent youth librarians who do such a great job telling those stories. We have some virtual book clubs, you know, for the adults going on, and we're also giving out uh, Storytime to Go kits at the Haslett branch. So those are book suggestions. They include a fun craft, and then again, suggestions for activities to reinforce those 5 early literacy practices: the read, write, talk, sing, and play. So there's lots of different ways to engage, not so much the in-person story times that people are used to, but we still have lots going on.
So so those Zoom recordings or Facebook Live, where will people be able to like access those after they're recorded?
Yep. So you can go to our Facebook page, and probably the easiest way to find us is to, you know, go to Facebook and search for Capital Area District Libraries, where you can access them through our website, www.cadl.org, and then click on the Facebook icon, and that'll take you right to our page.
So if parents or anyone else like want to help in any way, or if someone wants to fundraise, like what are some things they could do to help with March's Reading Month?
Yeah, you know, this year there's not too many ways to get involved with what we're doing this year. Aside from just really encouraging your own family and kids to, you know, stop for a minute and read, um, you know, and maybe going to our website and finding more information about those early literacy practices. But if you can spread the word about, you know, the virtual events that we have, and the, you know, the to-go packets, whether it's the crafts or the story time to-go kits, really that's the best way to help. You know, just by, if you love reading yourself, spreading that love to others and reminding them that, you know, books can be a really enjoyable thing to do, to pick up and read and enjoy a good story.
All right, well, yeah, thank you. Those are all the questions I had for today. I really
Cool.
appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, it's my pleasure. If there's anything else I can do for you, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. You'll be the first person I reach out to.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.